All right, let's get started. So today we're going to be talking about creating raving fans, and we've talked about this before. Yet with coming into the holiday season and ending the year, we really want to be purposeful about starting being more purposeful about creating those raving fans as we go into the new year. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Awesome. Great. So we want to talk about different ways that you can create raving fans and what you're doing or what you intend to do, because sometimes we have a lot of great ideas, but we don't actually implement them, present company included. So let's talk about that. Anybody want to start?
I'll start.
Go ahead, Bernice. Thank you.
So last year I did my first customer appreciation event at a restaurant in Stoughton, but I can't do it this year. And some of my clients were like, "How are you going to do the customer appreciation?" I was like, "I have no idea." But I decided so I'm going to deliver customer appreciation bags. They're filled with a bunch of, giveaways and helpful stuff. The weekend before Thanksgiving. So it's myself, daughter, husband, sister, and a couple of my friends, adult children are gonna deliver. I ordered jackets with the logo on it. We're gonna text people and say just a little gift from your favorite real estate agent, whatever, and deliver it to people. And hopefully, I'll get some raving fans.
There you go. So is it for Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you did it at the restaurant, what did you do? Was it like a dinner or a cocktail party or?
So it was a cocktail party, all you can eat, open bar. Everyone got bags again. This year the bags are upgraded though. So, they got pies, they got pens, they got stickies, they got flashlights, they got a bunch of stuff, in the bag. And then just like some cheat sheets about how to maintain your property. A lot of things. What was really nice about that event though was I didn't anticipate people wanting to say nice things about me at the event, and that just happened naturally, like authentically. People were like, "Oh, before you go, I just want to say,"
yeah.
And people spoke very highly. I mean, it was really nice. And one of the things we're going to do too is to follow up to that so that everyone can come together is do a Zoom call, like a customer appreciation. Everyone comes on and it's going to be coffee and tea with Realtor B. And so I'm going to invite people to have, coffee and tea, around the Thanksgiving holiday or whatever, just to, give them a big thank you. So
I love
nice.
it.
Awesome. That's great.
Realtor B is on the ALC.
Yeah. Oops, you let the cat out of the bag.
Let me find out you're a rapper too, Rick.
Oh, you don't even know.
I'm
Don't encourage him. Don't encourage him.
Don't even go there.
Bernice, next KW event, you'll have to come and watch him do his karaoke.
Oh, I'm afraid.
Awesome. What else you guys got?
So
we are doing a free pie. Well, that's what Lisa calls it, which I think is cool. Free pie drive-by. So every year, as most of you know, we do a client appreciation pie party at a restaurant where agents will purchase pies, invite their clients, and we all do it as a group. So whoever wants to participate as an agent can do so. This year, because of COVID, we're actually going to be doing a drive-by. So we invite our clients to come by to a location over in Pond Plain, whatever.
Improvement Center
In Weymouth. And what they're going to do is they're going to come drive in, they'll text their agent and say, "Hey, I'm here." The agent will come out and bring the pie and give it to them, and then they can drive off. So that's something we're doing in Braintree. So if you want to be part of that, it's not too late to do so. Reach out to Lindsay. She's got a flyer that you can edit and invite your guests. Even if it's one or two people, it doesn't matter. Because when they pull up, they're not going to know if the people in front of them or behind them are your clients or not. They're just going to assume they're your clients, even though they could be somebody else's.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And if you're a new licensee, feel free A client doesn't necessarily need to be somebody that you've done a transaction with.
Mhm.
If you're a new licensee, pick a couple of your favorite people from your database and invite them. Yeah.
So like people you think of that are going to refer you business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If I could share something that the R&L Home team has implemented and pretty excited about it. So Lisa got this idea from a luxury agent in California, a KW agent, and we got his permission to steal it. But it's basically called the Surprise and Delight Program. And rather than go through an entire transaction with somebody and at the end give them a closing gift, why not surprise and delight them throughout the transaction? So we figured out, what is the approximate value of the end of the deal closing gift we typically give, and we try to divide that by 5. So they get a small gift when they hire us, when they go under contract, when they sign the P&S, at the mortgage commitment, and at the closing. And it's only been in place for about 6 weeks, and the response has been pretty amazing, actually.
What are the small gifts, Rick?
Well, there's a book. There's a like a wine / coffee tumbler, almost like a igloo type thing. There's a blanket, and so we have 4 constants and 1 customized gift. And then we also have a branded bookmark in the very beginning. So, and at the very end, we'll select something that's very personal to them. And the book is also different depending on the person. We gave them, we bought a case of The One Thing, a case of the MREI, Millionaire Real Estate Investor. I just gave that to a young 26-year-old kid who bought a 2-family, and he wants to buy more. So he saw that book and he was like so excited about getting that book. So again, the idea is it comes from, like, if you go to the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, it's the experience of staying there from the moment you arrive until you leave, that you leave with this, like, wow, that was great, right? Compared to going there, staying there, and then leaving and getting something good. So it just made a lot of sense to us. So why wait till the very end to reward them? Let's just keep giving them something throughout the whole transaction that's meaningful. And again, we've only probably done 4 or 5 clients with this program, and the response has been awesome.
Yeah, we've been to, I'm sure, Rick, you've been there too, some, events where they've been high producing agents, and they do the same thing, and they send the gifts to the seller or buyer's workplace.
Yeah.
So that if you're sending flowers or candy or whatever it is, people like, what did you get? Who'd you get it from? Oh, my realtor. Right. So then it just gives more people that you probably wouldn't have ever, touched a touch to some degree.
It's a great idea.
And then they're just talking about you. So you got to be really purposeful about getting their work addresses up front too. Right. So make sure you don't send them something that's going to, wilt before they get to work, especially these days too. You got to be careful because they may not be going into the office. So I'm sure a lot of that practice has changed too, just with the COVID. So awesome. Corey, what did you do for, I know we're past Halloween here, but everybody can write notes and have it on their plan for next year. What did you do? I'm sure everyone saw it on Facebook or Instagram anyways, but.
We had a mobile pumpkin patch, which was more than I thought it was going to be as far as time and commitment. And it was a couple of long days. So basically what we did is we partnered up with some of our referral partners and created a mobile pumpkin patch. We ordered the pumpkins from Wardbury Farm. We picked them up on a big trailer that I pulled behind my truck. We dressed the thing up with some cool fall-like and pumpkin-like decorations, bought some straw hats, and we played really, really loud music and pulled up to each of our clients' houses and delivered pumpkins and candy as along with a pumpkin decorating contest. And it was probably 2 full days of deliveries. Mark rode on the back of the trailer as we pulled up to people's houses, dancing like an idiot with a straw hat on, and then I hopped out and danced, and we just made fun of ourselves and had a good time. But it was probably to date one of our most well-received events that we've done. Kids were excited for it, parents were excited for it, and it was just a lot of fun. We kept getting the comment during these times, these are sort of the things that we need, just kind of a positive, lighthearted type of thing. So we did that. Mark, was it 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that. And we just picked the winner of the pumpkin decorating contest. We documented it. We took pictures. We asked if we could post people's kids' pictures online, and we just did the whole thing. Not only was it obviously great for our clients and for us to be able to see them, because we haven't had a lot of face-to-face stuff, but it was great social media content as well. Really had nothing to do with real estate per se. We weren't giving tips or talking about market stats or anything like that. We were just highlighting our clients and posting a lot of smiling faces, and then people were taking videos and posting them and all that sort of stuff. It was really a cool event. I don't know if Mark has anything else to kind of comment on it.
Yeah, I mean, like Corey said, I thought it was great to be able to see some clients that we hadn't seen in a while face to face, and it was just cool to see like neighbors coming out, kind of like Kristen, like you were saying about delivering stuff to people's work and getting other people to see it that way. Like we were pulling down the street, blaring music, dancing like crazy people, and neighbors were coming out and dancing and having a good time. And Corey actually had some good conversations with some neighbors that expressed interest in doing business in the future. So it was just, it was a great event. Some long days, but I'd say it was definitely worth it.
Corey, how many leads did you get from that one day?
I think we'll get 6 sides out of those 2 days.
Wow.
2 of them are already, one of them just wrote an offer on something.
So your return on investment is pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if these are the only ones that end up doing anything, we got a buy and a sell out of it, and we split the cost 3 ways with our vendor partners, and it really was just time. I was telling Bob, I was like, I don't know that I've had a day, like 2 days of lead gen when I've booked six sides out of something just from driving around in my truck, listening to music and, playing spooky, scary skeleton techno jam up to every house that we pulled up to. I mean, it was crazy. Like, oh, like this is considered work today. We get to drive around and play with kids. And
yeah, that's good stuff, man. I saw that. Corey, the pics look great online, and I love the one of you popping up like behind the pumpkin like this.
That was right before we left. Right?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I think the real question is who's going to do it as Santa now?
So that's the next thing that we have booked. We're going to basically do the same thing with a Santa sleigh. We're going to make the back of that trailer be like a winter wonderland with lights and stuff like that. And we're going to dress my truck up to look like a reindeer, put like a big red nose on the front of the thing. And we're going to do, what do we decide on? Hot cocoa and something else. You got to figure out how to do all that stuff. We're working out some of the logistics of it, but it was just so well received, that I was like, man, we got to do this again. And honestly, one of the biggest things specifically around here, like the Quincy, Santa thing with the fire department, and he drives up and he parachutes in or whatever, they canceled all that stuff.
Yeah.
So people are going to be looking for things like that, just to be a part of. And that's like such an easy thing to do. You know how many out of work Santas there are that can't have kids?
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity for out there for all of us to really be creative and make an impact. I got to jump at 9:30, but I want to, if you might have seen on social media on Halloween, me and Lisa, for the cost of maybe $100 and 4 hours, we dropped 30 pumpkins to some, raving fans of ours and past clients and just people in our sphere, dressed up as Batman and Robin. And we would go to their house, leave it on their front step, snap a selfie and text it to them right away. And about 6 people were home and we got into dialogue. We do have a listing lead as a result of it, but really the goodwill that it created was just immeasurable. Like people were calling up, oh my God, my kids love it. And they would send us pictures of their kids and, oh my God, I love my house. Thank you so much. That's so awesome. Miss you guys. And it was just a really fun touch and it energized us. Yeah, there you go. Batman and Robin. It was a lot of fun and we got a lot of traction from that, and people saw it, and you just take it and you just use it in your dialogue for the next couple of weeks. But it was cheap, it was fun, and it was very impactful. So events like these, guys, just think outside the box. Put COVID aside for a minute. You got to respect it. You got to be aware of it, but just, don't let it stop you from doing some creative things like Corey said. And you can really make an impact.
Mhm. And let's not forget, I mean, we're talking about things that cost money and time, which is great. And obviously the return on investment, you want to make sure that that makes sense, right? But don't forget to be a great agent and have really good communication with your clients, because you'll get raving fans from that, especially if they've worked with another agent before. You'll definitely stand out to them.
Yeah, that's probably the
Hi,
most
Bob.
important thing.
Yeah. Hi, Bob Malone.
Hey, my friend, how are you?
Good. How was the parade?
My son was horrified. Of course,
Was
he's
he?
13 years old, and if he was like 7 or 8 and he's sitting next to me in this rolling veterans parade around the middle school or elementary school, he would have been, dancing out the sunroof, But as a 13-year-old, absolutely horrified.
Aw.
Absolutely horrified. And at one point looked at me and he's like, I'm only here because it gets me out of like half the day of school.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It was exactly hysterical, absolutely hysterical. So good stuff. Good way to start today.
Yeah. Well, I know you love this topic.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Would you like to add anything now or wait till you stop driving?
No, that's all right. I just think, number one, like you said, this all starts with doing your job and doing it well, right? Delivering on small promises. If you do a terrible job with a client and continue to do a terrible job with your clients, even after, asking for forgiveness and all that, and then you show up in front of their house a couple of months later, like with Mark Gilson dancing in the bed of the truck with a pumpkin, they're like, get out of here, right? So
Right.
no matter what you do after the closing for the +1 sort of things, if you don't have that solid baseline of providing and creating a great and delivering on a great real estate experience, then everything else is for naught. But it just starts with that, like you said. And then beyond that, everything we do is prospecting, and it doesn't, just because, we talk about prospecting a lot and green time a lot, and, it doesn't mean you have to call 100 people a day and ask each and every single one of them, who do they know that's looking to buy or sell. You can deliver pumpkins, you can, put on different events, you can be Santa Claus, or even do what Corey basically did, which is, hey, my office isn't having our pumpkin patch this year, screw it. We'll bring our pumpkins to them. And I think that's awesome, and just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Just because you don't read about it in the MREA or the newest, latest and greatest business book doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. If nobody's done it, do it. That's all the more reason to do it. Be the purple cow and get out there. And if it's a home run, awesome. If it's not, learn from it and do it again, because maybe you just need time to catch it. It needs time to catch on,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I love this stuff. And that's what keeps me going during the day, is just thinking about different ways to connect with our clients, relate to our clients, and to keep ourselves top of mind to them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when you were saying that, I was just thinking of something, if you have clients that are really passionate about an organization, maybe you donate to that organization, in their name or something like that. Note cards, just as simple, for those of you who are like, well, I can't go buy 1,000 pumpkins. Okay, well, how about just a note card? Bob and I were talking about this last night on the phone, because we usually talk before we have these masterminds, and we were talking about, Facebook and how powerful that is. I mean, we can find out anything from there, right? So your client has a baby or is been sick or whatever the case is, it's a good opportunity for you to send a note to them or text them and, you know, follow up and check in with them. You know, before Facebook, we wouldn't know what was going on with anybody. Now we know too much. So take advantage of that stuff. If you got to creep on them, creep on them. The other thing, I'm sure most of you know this, but on Facebook, you can make lists. So, well, groups, I forget now, I have it on mine. It's on the left-hand side. And I put one with all my clients, like past clients. So I added only my clients in there. So if I go on, if I click on there, my feed's only going to show my client stuff, none of yours, just clients. So if I want to go through it and just like comment on my clients' things, I can do it really quick instead of going through my whole feed and watching everyone else's stuff, you know, like all you realtors, right? Does anyone do that? Does anyone have a separate list with their clients on Facebook? Somebody's got to do that.
I definitely haven't done that. No.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my, write that down.
I'm going to have to. Yeah,
Bob
exactly.
needs to do it.
That's a great idea.
Problem.
All right, cool. What else? What else you got?
I think
You
one
know,
of the other
Nicole, I asked you to say something, then I started talking. Nicole Condon did at Easter time. She dressed up as a bunny, literally, and did the same thing kind of Corey did, back of the truck, kind of driving around and I think threw candy or something out to the kids. But another little idea for Easter. Corey, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I think one of the other things too that, you know, that seems very real like baseline is just, you know, having good like referral partners and vendor partners that you work with, you know, because people just don't know what they don't know.
Mhm.
And part of the experience has to do with the entire team that you use, from your lender to your you know, home inspector to like everyone that they're going to have some kind of touch point with has to be on the same type of page as you, as far as service level, experience, you know, things that are going to go above and beyond. So, you know, one of the cool things that I love, you know, and besides the fact of, you know, he's a cool guy to hang out with, but just Bob's team and their approach, like, I know that they're getting little things along the way, and I know that they're getting these videos and things that a lot of other lenders aren't doing. And in conjunction with some of the stuff that we're doing, like, it just feels like the team of people. And I feel like we get this feedback fairly often. Mark could correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like a lot of people are just like, man, that whole thing, like everyone you guys sent us to, it just worked. Like everyone was great. And that, I think, makes a huge difference. You know, in, you know, if you don't have, you know, $1,000 to throw at an event, or you don't feel comfortable asking vendor partners for help or whatever it is, just, you know, aligning yourself and taking time to go out. And I know Kristen does this, like before she'll work with anyone, she'll go and interview them and ask them, like, are you going to do X, Y, and Z? Because these are my expectations. And I know some people even have people sign vendor agreements almost that say, this is what we talked about and this is what we're going to expect, you know, because to Bob's point, if you are just shooting from the hip and everything's disorganized all over the place, and then, you know, you show up dancing, they're gonna want to throw the pumpkin in your face, you know, or they're gonna, you know, they don't care about the pen, or they don't care about whatever you're trying to give them, you know, because at the very forefront of what we do is just being good at your job. And I think that's where it has to start before you even think about getting crazy events and dressing up. Like, you have to just be good at your job.
Mm-hmm. Agree. What else? What else you guys doing?
Corey, well, before we move on with other stuff, Corey, just to your point, that's a really great point, that you have to be really good at your job. And I have found for me that outside of, you know, Popeyes or gifts or thank yous or client appreciation events, my greatest successes, ironically, have just come from delivering exceptional service, you know, from the get-go, which, in, you know, exceptional service is going to be different things to different people, to different customers. Everyone's going to have a different perception of that. But honestly, I've got a family of, you know, in-laws and step relatives and cousins and good friends, and it's carried me through probably now like 10 or 11 years of referral business. And granted, I have a lot of referrals coming from outside those sources. But one of my greatest successes was about 4 years ago, someone within that group referred me a friend who happened to live right down the street from my house. And they weren't interested in buying or selling. They were interested in refinancing because they had just put on like a 700 square foot addition to the back of their house. And they didn't know if it made sense to, refinance and invest and stay there or go to a new neighborhood. So I just put together for them a strong market evaluation. And that was all they needed. They went ahead, they refinanced, and they've sent me like 4 or 5 referrals of their friends and their family over the last couple of years. And it's been about $2.5 million of business. So, and all I did for them was a thorough market CMA to show them, listen, I know the market, I know the business. This is what I expect. This is what I would anticipate. This is what I recommend. And they just took the ball and ran with it. So, and I have continued to give them a gift every time that they refer me something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to, what's the word? What's the word I'm
To
trying to
delight
say?
them from the beginning, as Lisa would say.
What's that?
Surprise and delight them, as Lisa.
There you go. Yeah, you want to make sure that, I can't think of the word, Donna.
Acknowledge, you want to acknowledge them.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but you want to reward is the word. I'm thinking. You want to reward the good behavior by referring you. So if you get referrals from someone, whether it be another realtor or, a past client or whatever it is, you want to send them something, a note, a gift card somewhere, whatever, to reward the good behavior so that they do it again. Because who doesn't like free stuff? I like free stuff.
Right.
Stuff, and they appreciate it. They're like, wow, thanks so
Yeah,
much
they
for
do.
doing that. You didn't have to do that. I'll do it again if you give me another referral. Don't say that, but that's what you're thinking, right?
And that keeps you top of mind with them.
Mhm.
That's what it's
Right.
all about.
Yep. This is what this is all about, right? Is you want to get as much real estate space in their mind, right? You want to be, when they think about real estate, they think of you, not somebody else. So, and again, this was something that another class heard it somewhere, who knows? But think about this. If somebody, I'll use Corey as an example. So Corey, if I went into your database and called every single person in your database and asked them who they would use as a realtor, are they going to say your name? Right?
I think almost everyone in my sphere, I would hope so.
Right. But that's something you want to think about as your own person. Like,
Legit.
oh my God, if someone Al came over and called my database, are they going to say me? And if you're like, I don't really know, then you really need to focus on your database more, right? And that is your data bank, isn't it? Right? That's where you're going to get the most of your business from there.
Right.
So just something to keep in mind.
People at this point actually choose to use Mark instead of me, which is actually nice.
There's nothing
Good
wrong
job,
with
Mark.
having the mindset that you don't really know. So it'll keep you going to keep it that way.
Mhm.
You never want to relax on that.
No. Nope.
So we have a rule on our team too that I think we maybe just came up with this year, is that we're not going to be outswagged by anybody.
Whoa.
So, we were just talking, and this is why it came up. It's like everybody likes free stuff. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, really. People just love free stuff. Whether it's apparel or frisbees or what, they don't care. They just like free stuff. And, we've tried to create a little bit of a presence online with some of this stuff where, it seems very hard to obtain some of our stuff. It's not, but we make it feel like, if you want to get some of this stuff, like you gotta really pay attention to our page, or you gotta send us some referrals. And I'm telling you, man, like Mark was walking by somebody the other day and they were just like, hey, like, how do I get one of those Yetis? Like, what do I gotta do to get one of those Yetis? Like, I'd love to, what did he say? I'd love to represent Level Up from what did he say, Mark? What was it?
He just said, I'd love to represent Level Up wherever I drink.
Yeah.
Make that happen.
And so stuff like that, I feel like, is just, where people want that stuff, and they don't want it because it's a Yeti. They want it because it's got our logo on it and they know who we are,
And it's free.
Yeah, and it's free. And it's because we have like relationships. Like I feel like we have pretty meaningful relationships with most of our clients. You know, like we try not to be so transactional that it's like a, you know, wham bam sort of situation. It's, you know, we try to figure out what's going on with their lives and ask questions and, you know, show up and, you know, just be around and you know, people want to work with people that they like and that they know and that they trust. And that, if, you know, if you can start some of that stuff, I do think there's an order with which the raving fan thing has to happen. Like you can't just go around handing out pens to everybody. That's not going to work. You know, like I think it starts with the being a great agent and knowing your job well, and then having a relationship with your clients, you know, and if you don't have any money, all that stuff is free. You know, that stuff is free to do. And then once you start picking up a little bit of business from being good at your job and, you know, taking care of people at a high level and having a great team and surrounding yourself with people, and then you can start to kind of invest in some of these products and things like that. And then all of a sudden you end up where Bernice was, you know, where you have a party and you give away all this stuff and then you're trying to leave and people are like, before you go, I want to talk about how awesome you are. You know, that didn't happen just because she threw a party and fed people and gave them pens. I know Bernice's business. She loves her clients. She takes care of her people. She's a good realtor. She's very good at her job. And so that stuff didn't happen by accident. She didn't just arbitrarily throw a party, because if she had thrown a party and nobody liked her, nobody would have shown up, you know?
And-
well, maybe.
And you know, they're not going to say that they love you and you do a great job if they don't believe it, right? They're only going to say it if they believe it. Right.
Yeah. And from that one event, I ended up getting 8 referrals, all ended in a transaction. So,
Wow.
I mean, that really
Awesome.
helped me in 2020. So,
That's fantastic.
And-
Mark, are you there? Mark DeFazio? He's on. Hello?
Well, no, he's there.
He's coming, trying to get on the mic.
While we're waiting for him to jump on, I just it's so it's so funny how every time we do one of these you know, campaigns or contests or something like that, how we're surprised when we see that it turns into business. And when I say we, I mean me too, you know, all of us. It's you know, it's just a recipe for creating business. You know, when we make you know, brownies, we buy a box of Duncan Hines brownie mix and throw in the egg, throw in the oil, throw in the water, mix it all up, throw it in the oven at 325, and like 20 minutes later, you have brownies. We're not surprised, but we always are surprised when Corey's mobile pumpkin patch turns into a handful of leads, or Bernice's event turns into a handful of leads to start off the year. It's just so funny how that works, you know?
Yep.
What's up, Kristen?
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Not too bad. How you doing today?
Good, good. So just to kind of get on something that's not, you know, purchase stuff and you know, and pop by. What about, you know, charities? You're doing the coat drive.
Yeah, definitely. I had always wanted to do a lot more service work, and so I'm trying to do more of that now. And it's been awesome because it's helped me connect with so many people that I knew from the past that I haven't talked to. And it's really just about relationships. Like you said, I haven't really brought up real estate until they asked, like, oh, what are you doing these days? And, you know, it's been awesome lead gen, and just, you know, I think getting in front of people is really important and hard for me right now. So I think that was really awesome, and it continues to be. People are still dropping stuff off, and we're doing that every Thursday. So that's been great.
Yeah, so you're getting in front of people. They're obviously going to ask you what you're doing. You'll let them know. And then every time they see you, they're going to ask you about real estate. But that's a good way to grow your database. People that inquire about what you're doing, put them in your database. Call them later and say, hey, thanks for, you know, your donation. You know, if I can ever be of service to you or any of your friends or family in real estate, please know you can reach out to me. I mean, that's a great way to start building that up. And it's not costing any money. It's time. And you're doing a good thing for people, right? You're getting winter clothes for the homeless, right?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Even just like helping people that are homeless, just find them shelter, I think has been like another way just to, it's made me feel good about what I'm doing. So I think it's been really helpful. And I think like everybody's been speaking about, it's about relationships. And I think, I figure if I just keep doing the right things, it'll eventually help me with my business as well.
Yep, definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Christine, Flora, Linda, Margaret, anything that you're doing that you can share with us? Well, feel free to, there's Margaret. She gives free TikTok videos.
I was just gonna say, and Bob said it too, Margaret has created her TikTok raving fans.
Yep.
People want more.
Yep.
And you're on mute, Margaret.
Yeah. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Oh, for God's sake, what a morning. Anyway, I get the fire hose out. You know how that goes. Yeah, so what I've started to do, which I'm trying to, I think I mentioned it before, is that I got the idea, or I was thinking of it in my head. I want to try to start doing like a real estate minute on my page and making it a little fun, and then, but putting it out there that, putting questions out there to, Facebook world, as in a market analysis. What do you want to know what's going on in your town? Give me your town, and then I'll do a quick minute report on it or something like that, just to try to get them involved as much as possible. And then hopefully privately communicate with them on the side and send them things like that. So, I mean, I'm not having any big parties yet or anything like that. It stresses me out, so, that's where
you're coming from the angle of you're the expert. Right?
Yes, yes, I am. Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. What else you got? What else have you seen? Things that you want to implement? What you should be doing?
I went to a National Association of Realtor convention, and there was this amazing woman there who I don't remember her name, but she has, on the evening that you move in, that the buyer moves in, there is automatically pizza delivered in pizza boxes with her brand on it. Because I mean, this just magically shows up with a couple of just pizzas and a couple of sodas and a branded box, and because inevitably you probably have family and friends helping you move in. And somebody else there was talking about that they also sponsor a housewarming party, and that you got 100 people, the neighbors, everybody there, and that they are there also sort of as a representative. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, I've heard people asking their clients who just move into a house for their list of the addresses of their friends and family, whatever, and they send the invitations out as the realtor, or hey, we just moved. That's another thing you could do too, is we've just moved cards, and say, hey, give me your list, and I'll send out a card and let all your friends know that you've moved.
Yeah,
so that's another thing. That was a long time ago thing. But as far as like the party, yeah, send the invitations out, then you can show up to the party, bring some food, beverages, whatever, meet everybody, and people start talking to you. Everybody wants to know about real estate, so that's another thing too. Bob Malone has a Yeti. For those of you who don't know, and I know some of you have used it before, he's got a Yeti that's branded with Radius and Keller Williams Showcase properties on it. So if you're working with him, and where did he go? Oh, there's Sam. If you're working with him with your client, you can fill that up with, sodas and waters or whatever, and drop that off on moving day too, so that they have something for, the movers, for their friends or whatnot. So it's another thing. And that's, I mean, how much does a case of water cost at BJ's and some soda? And then you can use Bob's free Yeti, but you got to pick it up and return it back to him, just so you I can't keep it. So that's something else that's not as expensive, that's not going to cost you a lot of money, but it's something that you can do. Right, Bob?
That's it. Now, did Corey, have you already? It sounds like somebody mentioned the Yeti cooler, but did you talk about granting Kate at all or no? Alright.
No, Kristen just mentioned it. I didn't talk about that story.
Yeah. So, really a great +1 raving fan story is after about 6 months to a year after a closing for these clients, on Facebook, Corey noticed that the guy in the relationship was having knee surgery. He was going to be laid up for a little while. So Corey got his cooler, and actually Corey has experience with knee surgeries and rehabbing from knee surgeries. He got his cooler, he filled it up with drinks and all that good stuff, just a bunch of goodies, and dropped it off so that this guy could just have it right next to him on the couch that he was, or the chair that he was resting in and healing up in. And that's just huge, right? And so they put it out there, of course, on social media, so everybody's showing that they're showing everybody what their realtor did for them. And they just reached out to Corey again a year or two after they originally bought their house, and now they're buying someplace, now they're selling their house and buying another house. And Mark was just showing them, I think, a house yesterday. So it just, how much do you think, Corey, you might have spent on the drinks and the snacks in that cooler?
I mean,
$50 at
the I mean, maybe not even. We got him a magazine that was $7. That might have been like the most expensive thing there, but we just got him. The cooler was more for the ice. That because I saw her saying that she couldn't keep when you get knee surgery, you have to have ice all the time, and it has to circulate through this big brace. And it's the biggest pain in the butt. Kristen's shaking her head because Lauren had it too. It's just the biggest pain in the butt to keep ice around. And so I was like, you know what? Let's just bring that cooler over. They had used Bob to do their mortgage. And I said, we'll bring this branded cooler over. We stuck ice in it with a few drinks in there, like not that much. I think we got them some candy and, a magazine or something like that. And maybe a DVD. And maybe it was $40, $30, maybe, and it was just, that was a cool moment, just to be able to help them and, get in some ice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's just another example. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're starting to implement these real estate survival kits. So we're kind of getting a bunch of cool swaggy type things and just little things that people could use throughout the course of their transaction, whether it's gum or Tic Tacs or coloring books or whatever it might be. And we have boxes and we get a bunch of stickers, and we'll put the stickers on them with our stuff and our information. And anytime that somebody is ready to do business with us, as soon as they sign their contract, the next day we're going to deliver that box on their doorstep that says like Level Up Group Real Estate Survival Kit. And they'll open it up and there'll just be a bunch of little things in there, just, we haven't even come up with the entire list of things, but we just got the boxes, we just got the stickers. And, that was one of that, like, that's a purple cow thing. Like, I don't know that a ton of people are doing that sort of thing. And for me, it's just important to kind of stick out. And I think that's a big, from Jump Street, like, here we go with these guys. This is what they're kind of going to do to try to take care of us. And I'm hoping that lets people know like how serious we are, because I don't know that you would want to invest that type of, my mindset anyway, that type of stuff into somebody as far as financially, thinking that it might not work out, or you're not going to see it through to the end. Like, that almost signifies our commitment to them as much as it does, goodwill type of thing. So, and none of this stuff was possible before we, again, like, it just comes back to like just building up that fan database of, of just doing a good job and being a nice, regular human being to people and following up with them. And, after some of the smaller events that we did, one of the things before we had any kind of budget to do this stuff is even at like the company sponsored events, if we took pictures of people, at an event, we would just get them printed up and mail them a thank you card with the picture in it that just said, hey, thanks for coming to name the event, and just stuff like that. I mean, how much does it cost to print pictures? 10 cents a piece or something like that? Like, with a blank thank you card that you can get from Walmart for $10, for 50 of them. It's just really simple stuff. It doesn't really take that much. I feel like handwritten notes are we talk about them a lot, but I don't know how many of them actually go out. We try to send handwritten notes as often as we can. You know, just I think it makes a difference. Most people are only getting bills or solicitations in the mail. You know, if they're getting something from a realtor, it's a, you know, a tri-folded Word document that says, "Didn't you know we sold the house down the street? Let's get a value on your home." And I know when I get those in my mailbox, they just go in the trash, not because it's another realtor sometimes, but other times it's just because it sucks to look at. Like, who cares?
A couple other things while you're talking, just remind me, somebody mentioned Frisbees before. That was something that we heard at Bold. For those of you who went to the last in-person Bold, they talked about doing Frisbees, having branded, and then just, you know, throw them out on people's lawns. I know Bob Gill, because some of us got those. He actually implemented it right away. I think before the end of Bold, well, I know before the end of Bold, because he gave them out at Bold. He had those ordered and already, you know, started with those. So that's a good idea. Another idea would be flags. So I do that for those of you who don't know, I do those every 4th of July for my farm area. And wow, people love that. So I put one flag in front of, like, lining the streets, but in everyone's yard in front of their door. So the whole neighborhood, when you're coming through the neighborhood, there's just flags on both sides of you. And I get so many thank yous from that. We have our own Facebook page for the neighborhood. They'll take pictures of their dogs laying down next to the flag and send them to me. They love it. And the flags, I mean, they're not even $1 a piece. And, you know, I pay my kids or my niece and nephew, you know, like $40 to go put them out, and they love it. And they keep them on. I mean, some people still have their flag out as of today. And sometimes they move them, you know, close to their door or something, but that's another thing that you could, you know, do as well.
I had a quick question. I was going to be, I posted something on my business page on my Facebook. I just made it like last week. I think I have like 170 people following it. So that's like my sphere. So I was like thinking of doing like a holiday type of thing where I mail out a little package with a bunch of small items. I'm getting business cards made, so I was going to throw one of those in, but if anyone has suggestions onto what to put in those little boxes.
So is it for like, for following you on social media, or just branding yourself, or?
Exactly. I said to just drop your address if you want a holiday gift.
Gotcha. Okay. What could we do?
Pre-made little hot cocoa mix things.
Oh, there you go.
Have like marshmallow, cocoa mix, a candy cane, something like that.
Yeah, that's good because that's low cost too. So that's
yeah, low cost. And I'm telling you, man, like, you don't have to spend tons of money on this stuff to be effective. That would just be something if I got in the mail, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. You know, like,
yeah. Kind of
Hand sanitizer.
Oh, there you go.
You can get that now. I will say Bed Bath & Body, they smell better, and it's the same price, the little tiny ones. You could even make a label and put it over it too.
Cool.
Like get maybe like a return address label or something. I don't know the size, I haven't done it, but, and then, you know, brand yourself and your logo on there, and then, you know, send that, something like that. They have those keys too. I saw a bunch at Target. I didn't even look to see how much they were, but they have those keys, you know, when you don't, there you go, that one. Yep. See?
Oh, so you don't have to touch like the elevator button or whatever?
Yep, you could order those. I'm sure you could order those in bulk now. I don't, like I said, I saw them on an end cap at Target in Abington yesterday. I don't, you know how much they were. But just, you know, little things. I mean, those are probably easier to mail than the hand sanitizer, but just depends, you know, what you're looking to do. Anybody else have any suggestions?
Yeah, I'd even Google, you know, client holiday gifts, right? And see what pops up on Etsy or something. And, you know, you'll get an idea that way. Don't try to recreate the wheel, just kind of go through it. And also I think it's important just not to do something just to do it. I think there has to be a meaning behind it, right? You know, we all get those, you know, we do like free things, but just arbitrary coming out of nowhere with no meaning or thought behind it. You know, it's kind of like, I don't get it. Right. So just make sure whatever you do, you know, your heart's behind it, and it's something that you think that you would want to get, or something that, you know, if you can ask yourself, am I providing my clients with value, or the people that I care about with something of value? And it doesn't mean that it has to be expensive like these people are talking about. It's just something that they will use. And I think that's, you can't go wrong if you think about it that way.
And
Right.
Etsy's super good to go on anyway, because they already have, like, they will put the gift box together for you, and they'll
Yeah.
even write a card for you and send it for you. So it's just easier than you running around and trying to get all this stuff and put it together, buy the boxes, go to the mail, doing all these things. And you're supporting a small business, which is always fun.
Yeah. I do want some of the items to be kind of personalized. I guess the whole point of me sending these out is to, kind of get in touch with people that I haven't seen or talked to in a couple of years, and basically just tell them that this is what I'm doing. And just, again, to make them think of me when they think of real estate.
And on
So-
Etsy too, if you talk to, like, if you find something you like and that's what the route you want to go, a lot of times if you reach out to the shop owner, they might give you 10% off, because you're doing more than one thing too.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks for that.
Where is that, Sam, did you say?
On Etsy.
Oh, Etsy, okay.
Yeah.
The
So like
other
I
thing-
did, I'm doing Christmas ornaments. I ordered them actually the beginning of October or maybe the end of September, but with a picture of the home for all of the closings from this year. And it says, like, it doesn't say anything about Christmas, but it says, home sweet home or something on it, and established 2020. So the woman on Etsy too, I think she gave me like 30% off because I ordered so many. And she's packaging them all. She's, they're all coming already in their boxes to me, so that, because I wanted to put a card with them. But, because on the other side of an Etsy shop, it's a person typically, not like a big business. So they'll work with
Right.
you.
Cool.
The other thing too is I would go on popbyideas.com.
Okay.
Popbyideas.com. Great ideas for you. I mean, even if you don't want to mail them and you want to get face to face with these people, if they're local, do the pop buys where you'll go and drop it off, knock on the door one night and drop off a little gift. But they'll give you different ideas. Like it will say like the peeps, like for Easter, it'll say, have your peeps call my peeps. Like it'll give you like a little like fun saying, so
Yeah.
you can get an idea of what you want to give, and then what the little like saying will be, and then you could just make those up too. There's a whole bunch of different things for all different times of the year.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you just got to make sure you follow up on that stuff.
Mhm.
Like it's totally okay to send somebody something and then, a few weeks later be like, hey, just wanted to call and make sure you got the card or the whatever thing I sent you.
Right.
Because most times they're not, a few people will reach out to you on their own and say thank you, but most people are just going to go about living their lives.
Mhm.
And it's not because they're not appreciative. They just, that's not a main priority for them. That was the hardest thing for me to get over when I first got started, was like, how come these people don't respond? When I started reaching out afterwards and being like, hey, like, remember that thing I sent you? Remember that cool thing I did? Like, you want to talk about it? And they were like, oh yeah, no, that's great. And that you just kind of have to stay on people. And if you just send it out, like to Bob's point, and you don't follow up afterwards, then you've just wasted whatever the amount of money is that you just spent on the Etsy shop or whatever thing you're putting together, so there always has to be some kind of return. And typically you're going to have to follow up on these people, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, a lot of times, especially if you haven't seen them in years and years,
Right.
And it's okay to do that. And that's the greatest way to start building that raving fan database,
Mhm.
That was the thing, because a lot of these people that I haven't seen, they have different addresses, different phone numbers. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly where they are. And the only means of communication I have with them is through Facebook. So I don't know. It was just a thought, but thank you for all your ideas.
Brendan, I mean, if it's through Facebook, go on, message them. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. What are you up to? Whatever, forward them, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams, ask some questions. And then just say, hey, I'm putting my database together. Would you mind sharing your address and your phone number with me? Or, hey, I'd like to send you something out. Just letting you know, that I'm in real estate. So in case you ever need anything, I want to send you my card, whatever it is. They'll give you their address and phone number. Just
Yeah.
ask them, make it, you don't have to make it too difficult. Just ask, they'll give it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
They really will. I did that when I did my football magnets, is I found I didn't have a lot of addresses of close, friends I grew up with. And I just private messaged them and they do respond. They're like, oh yeah, definitely. People
Cool.
love free stuff.
Yep. And they'll respond on Facebook before they answer your phone call, return an email or a
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Facebook.
I know. And I'm not really. So I'm just kind of like navigating social media myself. So thank you all.
Awesome. Well, we're almost out of time. Does anybody have anything else? Any ideas, any questions? Anything?
Don't be afraid to make a splash. Get out there, offend people. You won't send them things you don't think they'll like. They will like it. It will turn into business. Just do it. Honestly, just like with videos, we say, just press send.
Mhm.
With gifting to your clients, just send, and watch the magic happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining. I appreciate your time. Hope you got some nuggets of gold out of this morning. And at the end of the day, implement it and follow up, because aren't those the two most important things? Implementing and follow up. I hope you have a productive week.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.